Thank you for tuning in to the Afternoon Pint. This episode is sponsored by Camilla Najat of Exit Realty, Strategy Up Business Consultants, and ISS Atlantic Security Guard Services. Enjoy the show. I'm going to give this 10 seconds, see if that goes away. It's still popping up. We're good though now. Okay, cool.
Okay, 1, 2, 1, 2.
Cheers!
Cheers! Cheers!
Welcome to the Afternoon Pint.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much. And we're here at the Garrison Tap Room. I've never been, my first time.
Really?
Oh, first time. Very nice. Yeah, very nice. Very
yeah.
nice. And super fast coming from work.
Oh, yeah.
I thought it was going to be a half hour. It was like 10 minutes at 6 o'clock in Halifax. So
That's unheard of.
shabby. I have to say,
we got a couple good beers here, some seasonal beers too. Actually, we didn't talk about that, but you guys got the Hefeweizen and I got the Dunkelweizen.
Right.
So some German style beers because it's
little
Oktoberfest.
autumnal. Oh, there you go. Of course.
And Matt and I dressed very similar today.
I have
planned.
to say.
Not on purpose, but we were with one of our heroes of commercial heroes, we'll say, of past.
You've got
the Great Canadian Joe, a.k.a. Jeff Douglas.
You've got your hoser jackets on.
We do, man. Yeah,
Here's
absolutely.
to Joe. Yeah, well, thank you, and thanks for having me here. I'm super excited to be here. What a great way, what a very civilized way to make a podcast, to make media.
A Canadian way to make a podcast.
Very, very Canadian way.
Yeah.
So people might remember you from the Molson I Am Canadian commercial way back in the day. And we were talking about how iconic it was, almost right up there with Heritage Minutes.
Yeah.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about how that came to be, how you
ended up that
there.
guy. Well, I was an actor in Toronto, and like most actors, when you're starting out, or commercials are your bread and butter. And so I'd gone through that period. And actually, at the point that this commercial had come up, I had a role on a Disney series. And I remember my agent calling me and saying, Chris Alexander, who's a casting director, he'd like to see you for this test, because it wasn't even a commercial, a test for a beer commercial. And I was like, I don't want to. I think I'm done with commercials. I don't, I'm not eager to go back to it. Commercials they're hard. There's a lot of pressure. Things have to be tight time-wise. There's a lot of reasons why, as an actor, it's a difficult thing to undertake. But Chris was a guy who, Craig Alexander, Craig, if you're listening, was one of the first casting directors who ever opened the door to me when I first arrived in Toronto. So I was like, okay, well, I'll go in. And he had said, I think, tell him to read it, because it's not like other commercials. It's something different. It's kind of a script. It's kind of a monologue. And I read it and I was like, oh, it's fun. It's fun. It's like a list of things, but it looks like it could be fun. And the beaver line is kind of fun. That was, I think, what stood out to me. The beaver is a proud and noble animal. So I went in and ended up, booking this, what was at first a test, because Molson wasn't even sure that they were going to go with it. They thought it was maybe too on the nose and that Canadians wouldn't respond to it. And then, so we did the test and then came around, we're going to shoot the commercial. And I remember during the shoot, it was talking, because it was only me. Unlike a lot of commercials, which could be like a 22-hour shoot, this was like a very polite 6 or 8 hours and multiple camera angles, but it's just me doing this speech in front of a green screen. All the background was added afterwards. And so while they were moving, but back in the day, it was film, so single camera, and every time they move the camera, they've got to relight everything. So I'd have a lot of downtime, and I had downtime with the people on a commercial shoot. You'd have the agency, which is the commercial agency. In this case, it was Ben, Simon, Byrne, and Darcy. And then you would have the client, which in this case was Molson. And typically the actor would never ever meet them, but because it was only me and we'd been through the test together, we'd already done it. They have their sofas and stuff, and they're sitting back, and I'd go back and sit with them. And I remember at a certain point, Laurie Estabrooks, who's a producer on the commercial, saying to me, because it's 8 hours, sitting multiple conversations at one point, and it's so funny that I still have this mullet kicking around, but I didn't during the shoot, but when I auditioned for it and did the test, I had a wicked hockey haircut. And she was like, that was, when you walked in, we all kind of looked at each other and went, holy fuck. fuck, like that guy's a complete hoser. That dude, if he doesn't shit the bed, that's our guy.
Yeah.
And when I did the audition, and the other thing, I had improv'd at the end just a little thank you, because it's like the most Canadian thing in the world.
Super polite, very
yeah,
Canadian.
and that's it.
Say
And
thank
so, that is, I think, how I ended up being the guy.
Wow.
And then during the shoot, the then VP of marketing at Molson, Brett Marchand, said, "What do you think? What do you think of the spot?" And I'm like, "I have no idea. I never know about anything." And he was like, "We're going to ruin your life with this spot.
Yeah.
This is going to be it.
Yeah.
There'll be nothing else." Yeah. And then I don't know how he knew. Like, I have no sense of those things. And I know that Glenn, who did the Glenn Hunt, who wrote the piece, like, he didn't know. He didn't know. But Brett had I guess an insight or an inkling about it. So yeah, that's how I came to be involved in it.
Amazing.
That was just an audition.
I'm pretty
and
sure
a bad
the
haircut.
bottles still say "I am Canadian" on the bottles. I'm pretty sure.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't.
It's been a while since I've bought Molson
Yes.
Canadian,
Yeah.
but I'm pretty sure they do still say it in small letters somewhere on there.
I am Canadian.
Yeah,
Yep.
it was iconic, right?
Yeah,
At this
it's
moment.
just, yeah.
What was it like the night you saw that appear on television?
Yeah.
Well, it was interesting because it was during the Oscars in 2001, maybe, and the commercial was not finished in time for them to secure a definite spot within the broadcast of the Academy Awards, but they go onto a standby list. So what that entails is you pay your money and then you just hope that it goes long, and that it goes long enough that wherever you are on the list, you get played. Because once they go past the time and the guaranteed spots are played, then you end up with just a first come, first serve. Robin Williams is hosting. He took it long, very long, and it did go long enough for the rant to get played, which was the name of the spot. And not only did he take it long enough, but as he was going into the TV, the commercial timeout, as I call it, like a hockey speak, but going into the commercial break, he performed Blame Canada from the South Park movie.
Classic.
And it was just like Blame Canada, big song and dance, and then go to commercial, and it's like cut to that microphone, and hey, I'm not. It's like you could never plan it. And I think the couple of things. The viewership is huge, right? Now, back in that day, and for people who are listening now, it was such a different world. Like people, it would just be it would be millions and millions of people, probably tens of millions of people,
or whoever is in the house.
Yeah, just
the Oscars was an event then.
It was an event.
It's not as much anymore.
Not as much.
Because you can watch it. You can watch it pulled apart on TikTok, on YouTube, whatever. But it was just the broadcast. There was no social media. There was no virality. There were no
predates
alternative.
YouTube. Yep.
People would do these appointment viewings. What are you doing? What are you doing Sunday night? It's the Oscars. It's the Oscars. And they would show up. So you would get millions and millions and millions of Canadians watching this. And not only that, but you would get almost every major media outlet would have people assigned to watch it.
Yeah, that's right.
Who
in case something happens, right?
Observe this moment, this weird, bizarre congruence of events and go, what the hell was that?
Yeah.
And who is Joe Canadian?
And we would have seen it like a Canada side, because although, it's run by the same network and everything, but a different network in Canada is
they would have a
it.
Canadian distributor.
So they would have had a distributor, just like we don't get the American Super Bowl commercials and things like that, or at least most of them.
And they don't get ours.
And
so that was kind of behind the firewall, so to speak. It was behind the paywall for Canada. It was very much a Canadian thing. And I think there was also a lot happening at that time, geopolitically. Like, as I look back.
What was happening at that time?
Well, there was, it was right around the time of 9/11. And it would have been around the time, it was kind of the first fracture too, I think, like Canadians would have always had, we've had generationally now, an same issue that like New Zealanders would have with Australians when they travel. And it's like, oh, are you from Australia? And New Zealanders are like, no, I'm not. I'm from, it's very different. Canadians, we've always had that, right? It's like, we don't, no offense to Americans, right? But it's like we're non-Americans.
Right.
And we're different. We've got our own thing. And,
Yeah, very much.
we want, there was that sort of sense of, I guess, an identity Canadians have always had. It's like, no, we're not. We're someone different. You've got the wrong person, whatever, the wrong country. But around that time, it was right around the time, and I can't remember the order of things, but there was something happening in the Canadian zeitgeist. Jean Chrétien would have been around that. He was prime minister. It was around the time of 9/11. It was around the time of the war on terror. Canada going into Afghanistan saying, yeah, we get this. This is legitimate. We see this. Your country was attacked, and we have, sort of good conclusive lines of intelligence taking us into Afghanistan. We're with you there. And then it was Iraq. And, the now infamous Colin Powell going into the UN and saying definite WMDs, they have them. And the UN saying, I'm not sure. And the coalition of the willing that the US set up. And Jean Chrétien at the time saying, we can't do Iraq. We're not comfortable with that. It doesn't, you haven't met the criteria, you haven't made the proof, and the UN is not recognizing this as a legal and just action, so we're going to sit this one out. And that really turned, like there was we got a lot of flack in Canada at that point from the States.
Okay.
I think it was all this was happening right around the same time.
Yeah, just for the timeline, because Oscars is generally first quarter of the year. So what would have happened is George Bush had just been inaugurated, which would have been, obviously at the time Bush was actually a polarizing character, which now thinks back, he's like Barney the dinosaur now.
It was a contentious election. But remember, there was like a recount in Florida.
Florida, the hanging Chad, and all this other stuff and everything. So it's like it was a contentious election. It was like who did really win? It was challenged. It was drawn out. Not that different than what we're seeing now.
Yeah,
right. Yeah. So it's so funny that you had that commercial, and now we have part two.
Yeah,
and we're seeing a lot of the same.
So there was a lot, and I mean, it was interesting that when now 25 years later on, and there was kind of a resurgence around the time that of the presidential election, the inauguration, and then the sort of economic strife, I guess, the trade war, for lack of a better term, between Canada, the United States and Canada, the United States and everyone, but Canada specifically, and the president musing about a 51st state, and this was something, this piece of content, right? This commercial was something that Canadians started going back to and saying, we need something like this now. And I remember Jack Ben Simon, who would have been one of the owners of the company who produced this, had said, I don't know if it would work now, because at that point, in 2000, 2001, and one of the reasons they wrote it is that they knew at that point, for people who would be in the target demographic for that ad, like I think if we're speaking honestly, like probably 14 to 25, because I think they market young, right? Yeah. They want habits. They're not condoning anyone drinking under the legal age, but by the time you get to be 19, they want you to be thinking of Molson
exactly.
Canadian.
Yeah. They want you aware in your teenage years.
And they only want
if
you...
you're Canadian, you'll drink this.
And they don't want us. They don't care about people who drink 6 beers a week. They don't care.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
When you drink 60 beers a week, they want you then, right?
Fair. Yeah.
But at that... Jack Ben Simon, when they did the research, he said at that point in time, when you looked at what did young people in Canada take pride in? And it was, and what did they think of when
beavers.
It came to, beavers. Beavers were like way up there.
Yeah.
But it was actually their identity as a Canadian, which, in 2025 or maybe not 2025, but definitely 2024, like going into the last federal election here, and maybe before the presidential election in the United States, probably pride in Canadian identity was at the lowest it's been in a long, long time.
That's fair. That's very fair. Yep.
Yeah. A long, long time. Yeah. That has changed. a lot. So
this year it's really hit a springboard, right?
It really has, which is awesome to see, because I agree. I think it was kind of a race to the bottom when it came to a federal election in in the third, fourth quarter of 2024.
Yeah,
it was weird. Yeah,
it was really weird.
We were all just kind of giving up and like, let's just vote for the person we. This episode is brought to you by Camilla Najat with Exit Realty Metro.
Camilla Najat is an experienced real estate agent who prides herself in finding the perfect home for her clients. Camilla can help you with a comparative market analysis to help determine the value of your home if you're planning on selling, or help you determine the going rate for the neighborhood you're moving into. She can also work with you at your pace.
You can reach Camilla by calling 902-880-8429 or email camilla@exitmetro.ca.
Also, you can find her on Facebook at Camilla Najat, Exit Realty Metro.
But we weren't talking to each other. We weren't it's so crazy. Like, I remember growing up, it didn't matter, like when I was a kid back in the day, like, and then the 80s and 90s in Canada, it didn't matter. It didn't matter if you were a liberal supporter or at that point a progressive conservative. It's like no one cared.
Yeah. It would kind of leave at the doorstep almost. Like you might say something about your neighbor, like, oh, he's a liberal guy, but then when they got into your home, they were treated like family.
And it was like, it was just, I don't know. It's like being the difference between being a Leafs fan and a Habs fan. It was.
Do you think that's changed a little bit now, though? Obviously it's changed. We've gotten a little bit more hostile, but do you think that the reason why it's gotten a little bit that way is because we've seen Canada used to be kind of like, who's in the center and leans a little bit one way.
Yeah.
And now we're a little bit more polarizing. We have flat earthers and anti-vaxxers and things like that really, I don't really felt were a thing 25 years ago.
Yeah. I don't, the pandemic, the pandemic was weird, man. I think when I look back at the pandemic, it's like, now, I don't know if I've rinsed it from I'm just like, I try to pretend it never happened. I try to pretend that it, and we were super lucky here in Nova Scotia, the way our pandemic went, right? It was like us in New Zealand, us in New Zealand. But I do think that like mandates, whether it was vaccine mandates or mask mandates, like it was just, for some folks, that really drove a wedge between people. Like at what point does personal freedom end and collective responsibility begin? And it just, everyone has a kind of a different breaking point.
Yep.
So
absolutely.
Man, this is getting deep. This is like a deep
I know.
Tuesday afternoon.
I want to reel it back a bit. Really, so I want to go back to Joe Canadian.
Yeah, let's go back to Joe.
Young Doug.
Yeah.
Okay, so you've done this commercial. It's changed your life.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And obviously overnight, everyone's talking about Canadian Joe. You're an actor, and I'm sure as an actor, you probably wanted to, move your career in other ways. Yeah. Did this become like a really challenging thing to deal with? Like being the Joe guy,
it's a good question.
Trying to get into soap opera or whatever.
It is. Well, I actually had an offer from a soap opera based on the, coming out of the commercial, which I turned down. It was soap opera actors. I think it's too hard. It's a daily. It's a lot of work.
Yeah. For like 50 years.
Yeah, you can do it for a long time.
You just keep coming back from the dead.
Oh my God! Yeah, exactly. Keep bringing you back. Yeah. I'll be honest. It was not something that, had I known going in what the response would be and the visibility it would have, I probably would have said, this is not what I want to be known for. Interesting thing is, though, that doing it, and then the things that happened subsequent to it, it did change my life. It gave me an opportunity. It honestly gave me an opportunity to see the country. I had never really been anywhere. Like I was living in Toronto at the time. I'd never been. I think I'd been out west by that. Yeah, I'd been out west because I'd done a theater show out west, but there were huge swaths of this country that I'd never seen.
Yeah.
And definitely after that commercial,
Yeah, you toured.
Molson was just sending me, like, I'll go everywhere and do the thing. And I met a lot of people, and I drank a shit ton of beers with Canadians across the country.
Yeah. That sounds like my dream.
Right? So honestly, it's just like, as an actor, whatever I was, 28, 29 at the time.
Yeah.
If someone had said, this is going to be your thing, like as an actor, this is going to be the zenith, I would have been like, that is like a worst case scenario. That is the worst thing that could do to me.
Yeah.
As a human being, it was the best thing that happened to me. It's just different ideas about what's important, I guess, and stuff as time goes by, looking back. And the truth is, like, I met amazing people. Mm-hmm. And we talk about, how different maybe the country is today politically and at a kind of a higher level when we're in the bubble of our social media and, like our, whatever, our X-Rage or whatever it is. But I know I have 100% faith that if that same thing happened today and whatever organization was like, let's go, we're going out again.
Right.
And I was drinking beer with Canadians, it'd be the same as it was then.
Yeah. Mm.
I don't think that we are as divided as people would like us to believe we are.
I think when you look at the mirror of social media too, I think it wedges that divide even more than it
I
might
agree with that
actually be.
100%.
Because, I mean, you think about it, we all go to office together. There's lots of people I don't know their political views or not.
It doesn't matter when you're sitting down in this format. Yeah. And if like you think about it, like, man, you guys sit here and drink beer with people all day, every day.
Right.
That's your job. It doesn't matter who's sitting in this seat, right? Because
I wish that was our job. This is our hobby. We engineered this excuse just to get away for a beer on a Tuesday evening.
It's very smart. It's very smart.
This is a side hustle.
This is good. Hustle. It's a great side hustle. But it wouldn't matter who you have in this seat. In this forum,
right,
people are going to be good.
Oh, for sure.
Because I do believe that people are good.
Oh, yeah.
At the end of the day, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's hard to look someone in the eye and like tell them the horrible things that you say to people online.
Yeah.
Right?
You would never. Like, that's what I always say that, like when people are giving you the finger in their car.
Yes.
They're never going to do that to you at the superstore. Do you know, like when your cart, if you cut someone off the cart, they're not going to do it. We are biologically programmed to work as a crew, to work as a unit.
Love it.
The problem with social media, I think, is that we forget that that's a human being on the other end of it.
Just a name, right?
Right.
It's just a name and a digital presence.
Just an enemy.
Yeah.
Just like
might as well be AI, right?
Yeah.
So you did eventually get back into acting quite a bit. You did some roles. You did Matt. He did a movie that we both saw. Can you guess? We had director Barry Dunn on this show.
Oh, the Madones.
Oh my God. Barry was, I had like a 2-day little cameo on that. It was the first bit of acting I did since I moved back to Nova Scotia. I haven't done much, right? Like it's a very different gig for me here in Nova Scotia, but man, Barry made a good looking movie. Did you get see any of it?
Yeah. Screener before we
had to screen it with him.
They made a really good looking
nice
movie.
Guy, great movie.
Yep.
Good movie. I mean, like the cast was great. Like, yeah.
No, so I did commercial. Saving Hope. I did a couple of shows for like Disney, for Discovery Kids, did a lot of that kind of market
What'd you
stuff.
do with Disney?
I did a show called The Famous Jet Jackson. Ran as
I saw, but I know that.
Back in that was shooting at the time. This is why I didn't want to do the I Am Canadian commercial, because I had this role on a series, and I did make my living, continue to make my living as an actor for years after it.
Right.
And then I just I wasn't just that good at it.
No,
do you know what I mean? Like,
I wouldn't say that.
Yeah,
but
I certainly wasn't that good at auditioning.
What you were really good at is you were a really good host right off the bat. Like when you started doing stuff like the show on the History Channel, where you were kind of explaining.
I did a lot of that. Yeah, so that was that. Yeah,
what was that show called?
Things That Move.
Right.
I did Things That Move, Ancestors in the Attic, Working Overtime. Did some stuff for National Geographic National Geographic International out of Washington, D.C., and then some stuff out of the UK as well for National Geographic and the BBC. So I did probably close to a decade of that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. That was amazing. That was an amazing experience. Yeah, because it was all like location shoots, meeting cool people, doing cool shit. Again,
100%. Something I would dream of. Yeah.
I've had these moments, like these moments in my life. I remember doing this little 4-part series for BBC with this company. I think it was called 360 Productions. They were based in the UK, in London and in Derry, Ireland, Northern Ireland. And we were doing this like little mashup of history shows that would involve a lot of CGI and then actuality. As we said, I go around to these places. One of the shows we did was on Nostradamus. It was Nostradamus. Oh, yeah. Nostradamus. And I got a chance to go to Nostradamus's house. I think it was Aix-en-Provence. It was definitely in Provence, the south. And go up to the room where he actually did the thing. And it's like all be behind the velvet rope, right? And so the access during those shows was crazy. Cool. And you could go in, obviously not the same table, but the same place. And Nostradamus used to have a table like the size of these things with this copper bowl on it. He'd fill it with water. He'd put his face down over it, and like almost when you're trying to squeeze zits and you do the steam and you're like and he would do that, and then he'd get his visions. So I would get to go and be like, put my face in Nostradamus's bowl, do all this cool stuff.
Sounds like it's getting baked.
That's it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Who knows? Who knows what was in the water?
Yeah, exactly. Right? Yeah, just made up his own bomb.
Yeah, some very cool experiences.
That's awesome.
I will say though, I know he must have hung out. I know who you must have hung out with mostly, since you called it Derry.
Yeah. Oh yes. Oh yeah. No. Well, I did make the mistake on another show before working with this crew who were based in London and Derry, on a history television shoot, speaking, and of all people, speaking to 3 nuns in Belfast and saying, well, after we leave here, we're going to Londonderry to check the archives for, and this nun just said, my child, it is Derry.
Yes.
There is no London in Northern Ireland. Oh. And she was like, you'll do well to remember that when you go up there. And I was like, okay, yeah.
Cool town though, eh?
A very cool town. Yeah, a very, very, very cool town. Yeah. The whole 6 counties are incredible and tragic and hyped up. And so that's, if you want to drink beers with people and get a proper rage on, then the Northern Ireland is the place to be.
I didn't do Northern Ireland. I was just there. I only did
the Republic. I've never been to the Republic.
Oh yeah, no, it was amazing. Yeah.
I spent a month in both back in 2008. The whole month of May, I did both.
What were you doing? What?
Vacation. Oh, we had 3 generations of friends of family in Ireland, like my grandparents, my parents, and then people my age and everything. I basically just talking to say I'd like to come visit over someday, and they just said, one of them said, I have a vacation home, it's yours if you want to come and visit.
Yeah.
So I bought a plane ticket, spent the whole month there, and only had to feed myself and drink lots of Guinness. I had a place to stay. It was fantastic.
Yeah, no, it's a great country, and so that I've had a weird and wonderful life. Oh, that's for sure. Some great opportunities.
To me, it sounds like the commercial worked out, man. This episode is brought to you by Strategy Up. Strategy Up is a business consulting firm led by Mark Zerka, who has over 20 years' experience in building commercial strategies that will up your game, organize your teams, increase your productivity, and grow your business.
Whether you're a construction company looking to grow your revenue or a busy restaurant owner just trying to keep the doors open, Strategy Up can help. Strategy Up's boutique-style consultations will help you improve business process across nearly any industry.
Being a successful entrepreneur does not mean you have to be an expert in everything. Strategy Up specializes in building a relationship with you. Once pain points in the business are realized, Strategy Up will introduce process and technology that will power up your game to the next level.
A successful business requires investment. Your next step towards growth starts now. Email info@mystrategyup.com for a free business discovery call. Up your game with Strategy Up.
It all worked out.
How many times do people come up to you on the sidewalk and be like, man, do the thing?
It's very interesting that even back in the day, there is now 25 years between that face and this face. So it's very different. No one makes that mistake anymore. But even back in the day, it would, unless I was wearing like a shirt like you guys are wearing, it didn't, didn't happen. Although I will say that in the past year or so, it's happened more than it has happened. In a quarter century.
Well, the 2025 update was fantastic. You did a great job.
Yeah. Well, thank you. That was Glenn Hunt again. Glenn, when and it came about pretty organically. Glenn had been retired. Glenn was someone who had incredible success in advertising, and then had almost like a crisis of conscience at a certain point, and he thought Glenn very much, he came into contact with Buddhism, and then very much engaged with that, and it's changed his life. It's changed how he looks at how he interacts with the world. Cool. And at a certain point, like he had told me because I had reached out to him and said, hey, do you think maybe this is the right context for us to revisit? Do you think, could we do something for the country right now? Could we do something? And he was like, I remember when I first contacted him to say, do you want to do something? He was like, oh, dude, I'm retired. I hung up my shingle. I had this crisis of conscience, and I thought, why am I using my talents, my creative talents, to separate people from their money? And so he said, I don't do that anymore. I've been working in communication and, identity, things like this. And he had said to me at that point, like who is the client on this? Which is, sort of, and I said, Canada. Well, and he's like, okay, I could do it for that. And he said, and what's the mission? What do you think? And we started the conversations even before the 51st state thing came up, because it was the 25th anniversary. I wanted to do something because I said, maybe it just gives people something to agree about. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? Like just gives something fun to agree about. And at that point, he was like, yeah, because he really felt the division in the country too. And then the 51st state thing came on, and he was like, this is, I think, what we have to, this is the elephant in the room. We got to kind of.
After, we were talking about how that kind of 2024 being morale low and everything. I think the fact that the Edmonton Oilers had, played in, series, they really went deep runs 2 years in a row. I think that also was something people felt something there where the country was kind of united. Yeah. When it was divided. So I think hopping on that at the right time, people were wanting unity. Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. That is the thing that I think that people don't like to feel, whatever your relationship is, whether it's a friend or, a partner, your family, whatever, like friction, man, division doesn't feel good. No. And it doesn't feel good at a personal level, doesn't feel good at a community level, doesn't feel good at a national level. And I think that people, whatever we disagree about, I think that people didn't like feeling like that, and so I certainly didn't like feeling like that. So that is all we wanted to do with with that piece. You're not going to solve anything.
No.
It's just,
But it helped. I think you knocked it out of the park.
Give people something to share that wasn't shitty news.
It's a moment to, just forget that, we were not all getting along.
Yeah. Or that, it's okay to not get along.
And then just to go even smaller, you just did one for our province like a month ago.
Yeah, that's Scotia true. Stampede, man. Yeah. I am the Grand Marshal.
Yeah, that's awesome. Right.
Yeah, awesome. That's my hometown. Trurow's my hometown. I grew up out there. And so having a big event like the Stampede up in Truro, any chance for me to go home, Truro was really good to me. And it'll always be my home. So I was like, oh yeah, I'm keen to be, included in anything that's happening up in Truro. And then when they were, they were like, can we do something for this? Yeah. I was like, yeah, sure. Why not? Why not do it? And it was it was such a simple shoot. And I wish I could remember.
Who wrote that? Was that you or was that somebody else?
It was kind of, it was like the folks from the Stampede. And then we sort of sat around and jammed it out quickly. They had some stuff. I had some stuff. And then, we just kind of mashed it together. And then there were like these 3 young guys. And I'll have to get you guys the name of the production company because it's worth mentioning them. It's worth giving them a shout out. And I can't remember the name right now. But these 3 young guys came in and they're super casual, set up the green screen. They have their lights. They're like watching the videos, the original things. They're like, yeah, we got this. 90 minutes. We sit down. They're like, move the camera. And they're like, yo, what other camera positions? I'm like, put the camera, go down here. Maybe if you can walk across like this. And then within 2 weeks, they created that thing.
Done. I mean, it looks
so close
to the original. They did a good job. Man.
Yeah. It's definitely a production company to look for. Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. Yeah.
Lettuce on your donaires.
Lettuce on the donaires. That one just stuck in my head.
No lettuce. Yeah, I think it's very divisive as well, right? It's one of those things.
Well, we're right next door to like King of Donaire, and they constantly go hard in the paint on the no lettuce on donaires.
Oh, do they?
If you follow their socials is. One of the owners actually runs their socials, which is it's Nikki Nahas.
Okay,
and
not a fan of lettuce. I'm not either. I don't think it should be on.
I think it's a Nova Scotia Edmonton thing, right? Like I think that's the division. Wasn't there a big bidding on a Donaire costume at a certain point between who was it? There was a Halifax Donaire company, or store, and
I mean they've expanded and everything there, but I think. I'm
there's
fuzzy
something.
On the details.
It was just one of the many cultural divides across this vast and great nation.
I'm going to ask definitely you a deep question now, kind of related to the acting gig. Okay.
Yep.
What if there's like a Canadian you'd like to explore? If you got to just do a movie and do any kind of show, would there any kind of iconic Canadian in your life that you would have said, I would love to have made a movie of that guy or told that person's story, anything like that? And if it's no, that's fine, right? But
no, that's something I feel like I should have an answer to. But no, do you know who I've always been drawn to? And it's like for nefarious reasons, but
okay.
The Mad Trapper of Rat River. Do you know Mad Trapper of Rat River?
You gotta tell me this tale, man.
No one knows who he was. No one knows who he was. He was.
It was him. No one.
It was me. Yeah. No, it was some guy. They think he might have been Swedish, but he came to the north. He went up there, and I can't even remember what the dispute was. But he Charles Bronson. They did a movie about him. Charles Bronson, I think, played him back in the day, and this guy like. The RCMP went out to get him and shot up his place. Like he had this little cabin and like, I don't know how many guys showed up and shot the shit out of his cabin. And he had dug a hole in the middle. It was a dirt floor, He got away. He led them on this massive... Anyway, it's just a mystery because no one knows who he is. So that's who comes off like off the top of my head, honestly.
I think that would be
the Mad Trapper of Rat River.
I see a miniseries.
That's it. Mad Trapper of Rat River.
I mean, and kind of to follow up on that too a little bit is like, would you do that as like an actual series, or is that something like, given that you have so much hosting credits now and everything? Is that something like maybe like documentary?
Probably a documentary now.
Yeah, because I mean,
or both.
I don't, or both.
Lead with the movie.
Documentaries are like are I think at the all-time popular at this point. Netflix just pumping them out like crazy.
Yeah,
that one that just came out that everyone's talking about how that woman catfished her own daughter.
Yes,
that. Like, talk about the most hated woman on the internet.
The girls were watching that the other night.
The Phillies Karen.
Oh,
the Phillies Karen.
That's a tie right now. I don't know.
Phillies Karen and catfishing your own daughter. Those are very...
they're neck and neck. Yeah, exactly.
Man, wow. What happens to people?
But it's like, I don't know. I feel like we don't have enough like really great Canadian documentaries.
Oh, we're the parents of that art form. Like
I know what you're saying, but I don't feel like we give like as a population, we don't give it enough credit. They don't get enough money behind it. Netflix is pumping them out.
Well,
like insane,
there's not enough. No, there's not enough money probably behind any media anywhere in Canada,
enough,
right? And
yeah.
that has been kind of a perennial issue. But it's also, Canadians have a very different way of doing it. Like it's, I worked for, when I was doing all that history television stuff, worked for these really a documentary company up in Toronto, doc production company called Primitive Entertainment. They have a ton of integrity. And I remember like talking to them around the time that Bowling for Columbine came out and Fahrenheit 9/11.
Yep.
Right.
Michael Moore. And I'm like, wow, what about these Michael Moore documentaries? And they were having big theatrical releases. And I thought, oh, these guys are going to love it. And they were like, we hate that guy. We hate that because it was like not
Too sensational.
Yeah. And well, I think that Canadian documentary is still very much like it's not. I think that when things are entertainment focused, like if you're, because it's kind of like infotainment, right? And you're kind of balancing this tension between information and entertainment. And I think that certainly a lot of documentary is evolving always, right? Yeah. It's the relationship between the creator and the co-collaborator. I don't even think I'll call them I don't think they call them a doc subject anymore.
Right.
It's always evolving. More human now, but I still think that like that sensational type of documentary, which we all gravitate toward because they're more entertaining.
Right.
Maybe, like the people who are producing the real solid Canadian documentarians are like, I'm not sure that's documentary. I mean, I don't know. That could also be that
It's a style.
Yeah.
It's a style. I get it.
Yeah.
I mean, I
I like it, but
I like both. Honestly.
But I like true crime documentary too. And that
I
stuff's
don't.
all questionable. You don't, huh?
No, my wife
I don't know.
loves those. I
Funny enough.
do not like them.
Same.
My wife wants me to watch them so much with her, and I'm just like, you know what? They're an hour and a half long, or sometimes they're like 4 or 6 parts, and I'm like, just tell me who did it. Do it in 20 minutes.
Read the Rolling Stone
Wrap it
article.
up.
Be done with it in 20 minutes.
But if you do me a space,
I don't
if you give me a
like
space,
the cliffhanger thing. That's me. Like
anything with like you give me science documentaries or sports documentaries, sports and science, the two of them, I'll watch 100 episodes.
the thought that we watch something that withholds information from us that they know they have for like 8 episodes just kills me right there. I want
I do think that might be the issue. That where it's like documentarians would be like, this is all.
I'm like, let's
marketing.
Go. Let's understand what's going on here.
I don't know. I don't know what it is about true crime that
it's very popular.
A lot of people love it.
We're in the minority.
But it's, it is
We're like the only 2 people.
But it is like kind of for a lot of people, it's a guilty pleasure.
Yeah.
I know because oftentimes, they're not. Although true crime's gotten better too.
From
because
an entertainment perspective, and you might not be aware of this, I just finished the new Dexter. Dexter came out and did a resurrection show.
Yes, yeah. Amazing.
It was a masterclass. It was the best writing and the funnest thing I've seen in years.
Amazing.
I loved it.
See, I'm hesitant because I feel Dexter should have ended after season 4.
Oh yeah,
yeah. So they're already
there's some rough spots, but come back, man.
Yeah.
It's some good. Holy smokes!
I love Dexter. First 4 seasons, 1 to 4.
It has Peter Dinklage as the big bad guy in this one, right?
Yeah, the bad guy.
Actor.
Yeah.
I think you're loose with the term "big" there, but yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah. It is. I hear you there after, season 4, not necessarily with Dexter, but I have a real appreciation for Netflix in general, or Netflix specifically as a streaming service that has given us
they're kings. They are the king.
And has given us access to media from other parts of the world.
That's cool.
Yeah. It's not something I grew up with, right? And I remember it's like now, like having access to, shows that are out of whether it's
Squid Game.
Yeah, exactly. Out of Asia, out of Scandinavia, and I love the fact that a lot of those for me, Nordic noir was kind of the, that was like, probably not for you because it's a little bit true crimey, but more like thriller-ish. But they will do the thing where it's like, no, it's 6 episodes.
Yeah.
And it's done. Story's done.
I love that.
Doesn't matter how good it is.
It's my favorite
We're
thing.
not bringing it back.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, we're not going to do a second season because it's done.
No, there's something I love about we have a story to tell. We're going to tell it.
Yep.
End of story.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter how much money it made. If it made a lot of money, let's do another story.
American Horror Story was like, that's one of the unique things I liked about it. They kept doing it but it was a different story. It's like, we're going to write a story. We're going to end the story.
Right.
Yes.
We're not going to draw it out.
Right.
Yeah,
right?
it'll be a franchise.
Yeah.
But it's not going to be, we're going to bring these characters back from the dead.
Right.
whatever to milk it again. No offense.
Yeah.
No offense.
No, no, exactly. So, I mean, but yeah, I don't know if you saw recently, but I saw this recently, like Netflix is king, but because they rated the top 10 most watched shows in 2024/25.
Yeah.
Of the 10, it was something like 6 were from Netflix.
Oh gosh, really?
And then there was the number 3 was actually CBS. So they were saying like network TV isn't as dead as people think it is. So I mean, it was like 6 Netflix shows, and then it was like 2 networks, 2 other networks, and I think, and then 2, maybe even 3 other networks, and 1 other streaming.
What were the CBS shows? Do you remember like CSI kind of shows, or can you remember?
Nah, it wasn't like a CSI show, no. But I can't remember what it is. But it wasn't like that type of like franchise thing. But it was really interesting to see because they actually charted it out, and they're like network TV isn't dead, but obviously it's spread out. But what we have seen is Netflix is king, and they are putting out the biggest shows. And I don't know what that is. Maybe it's just because they were like kind of the first, right? So it's everyone's comfort zone kind of thing, right? And everyone's like, another one. But I mean, they put out some good shows. Not that others don't. Other ones put some great shows. But yeah.
How many subscriptions do you guys have?
3.
I usually rotate between 3 to 5.
3 to 5.
I got 3.
Yeah, it's amazing. I'm pretty cheap when it comes to subscriptions. But I get tempted because I do find on Netflix that it's kind of feast or famine. Did you guys ever find that? There'll be points where it's like, oh my God, like what a wealth of choice.
Yes.
And then it's like other times I'm like, really? Like what is...
I want to watch this right now.
What is happening here now? Like how many times can I watch Queen of the South?
I'm also super annoyed that they're pulling Brooklyn Nine-Nine. That's like one of my comfort shows.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
They're pulling that?
Pulling it. Yeah.
It's just somebody else. It'll pop up on another.
It'll pop up on something else,
Yeah,
but one I don't even know. If they pull The Office, I might actually like that. Might be my drawing point.
that's
of
it.
like,
I think The Office is now on Disney Plus, is it not? I saw it pop up on
maybe
something.
it is. I don't
it's
know.
all over the place.
Either way, it's on. It's everywhere. I mean,
find
same with How I Met Your Mother. How I Met Your Mother went from Netflix to Disney Plus. So I mean, I have Disney Plus and Prime.
If you ever try Apple TV though, man, like they put out some really.
They got some good
They
shows.
do, huh? Yeah. Disney Plus looks good at times, but again, it kind of there'll be shows where I'm like, yes, okay, I'm going to go to Disney Plus, and then it's like, oh, okay, now it's so they have. I think they all go through those.
Strategy. We put up seasonal. We do Crave for half of a year, and then we get Crave, and we get Apple for half of a year, and then we see everything.
That's a lot of organization though, because if you forget to kill those subscriptions, you end up with like $300 a month.
It's usually a month overlap, but it's not too bad.
I'll always have Netflix and Disney Plus and Prime. One Prime because it's a Prime account. My wife loves Amazon. And I mean Disney. I have a kid.
Yeah.
I mean, I love Marvel, love Star Wars. Not going anywhere. Netflix again. I think it's a comfort. I've had it since 2000 and whatever, 2011 or something like that. But it's it's one of those things I don't think it's going to go anywhere. But I'll tell you one that fits right into that show that's been some may say it's going too long, but I think they're clever. They're not doing 20 some odd episodes they're doing 8, and that's It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Yeah, I just watched the new one.
It's so good.
They're fantastic.
So good. They do 8 episodes per season.
Have you ever watched that?
Bang it out.
I have. Yeah, it's been a long time since I've seen it. I loved it. I think I might have started watching it like pre-streaming services.
Oh yeah.
It was on FX.
And it was. I just remember thinking, what is this show?
My mind was blown.
Like it's so absurd. It was kind of like, oh my God, Jason Bateman,
Arrested Development.
Arrested Development.
Arrested Development.
It was like Arrested Development was kind of the same. I was like, what is this reality? What is this amazing? And
so bizarre.
It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia is same kind of like. I just remember thinking,
they're still writing excellent episodes.
Amazing.
I like
amazing.
Some of the funny. I think they've done some of their best work in this season. Right, Dan and Vito's still there.
Amazing.
Everybody's still on board.
Keep going.
It's a great show. Man.
Stay weird.
Yeah, it's like season 16 or something like that.
Amazing.
But because they only do 8, they can bang out.
Yep, people go away and do it, and
it's really great, honestly. Yeah, but so I mean, I don't know. That's some of the stuff I guess with the Canadian TV versus American TV, which is pretty different. Like, we've talked about this a couple times before. I mean, I like some of my favorite shows are like we have some great Canadian content TV shows.
Yep.
And we've talked about this with Jonathan Torrance about. I mean, Corner Gas, Mr. D, Kim's Convenience are like 3 of shows that I again
north. There's some good stuff now, right? Like
north.
Reservation Dogs. Like there is great show coming out. I think that different voices, different perspectives have been really good for Canadian content. But yeah, the money. The truth is, there's a lot of great Canadian content out there. It's just oftentimes it's made by Canadians who are living in the United States,
right?
Because they've gone there, they got scoped, or scoped and then scooped. And why would you not?
No, I know. Go
to the States if you're going to make like 10, 12 times the money, right? Like it's
right.
And if you're, the funding models, everything's very different here. But
how do you think we kind of turn that around a little bit? I know we can't compete with the United States because there's just so much money there and so many people and everything. I mean, short of just asking California to join us.
They would. They would in a moment, I think. Well, do you know what's interesting, isn't it? Because I remember a time back in when I was a little kid when this kind of conversation would be happening around Canadian music. It was around the time that CanCon regulations came in and started saying, okay, every fourth song or whatever it has on the radio has to be. And no one, the Canadian music industry right now is, I would hold it up against any country, certainly in the English world. So it's there. The talent is there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And the proof that we can stand up and do it, given it doesn't happen overnight. Things, because there's a lot of different there's networks and systems that need to be put in place and people who need to be trained up and skilled and stuff like this. But the talent's there. Maybe this is it. Maybe this is the time.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I'd like to see us kind of really kind of support our own. Really kind of. It's great to see some things like Simu. Like he was.
Yep.
He kind of going from Kim's Convenience, relatively unknown, to being a part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, right? So that's a pretty cool thing to see. I want to see that. At the same time, I want us to create our own megastars.
It'd be great if he didn't have to leave to do that. It'd be great if he didn't have to leave to do that.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Well, thank you for staying, Jeff.
Yeah.
We appreciate that you're still in Halifax. I think that's a fantastic
cheers.
thing.
Yeah, no, I came back to Halifax. Are you kidding? I went to the mountaintop and then I realized actually...
You liked it here more.
No.
Oh, we love having you, man. So thank you so much.
Yeah, exactly.
I want to ask about your show now that you've been doing for how long have you been doing Main Street?
6 years.
Yeah.
Wow. It'll be maybe over. It would have been 6 years in June.
And that's 3 hours a day. Is it 3 to 6? Is it?
It is indeed.
Right? Monday to Friday?
Yep. It is 3:04:30 to 5:59:10 specifically.
And if our folks wanted to listen to that show, what channel is it? What frequency?
It is
on the FM dial.
If you're listening to it, depends where you are on the mainland of Nova Scotia, but it's CBC Radio 1.
Yeah.
You can also find it digitally. You can find there's ways to listen to CBC online. So if you're listening to this podcast, if you're a Nova Scotian who's living in Australia, people listen to us down there online. I don't know what time of day or what day of the week. It's going to be difficult, but you can find it online.
I kind of got, doing a little bit of research before we sat down here today, and I was looking. I was really impressed by the diversity of guests and topics you cover on CBC Main Street. It's pretty cool.
Well, that's Nova Scotia, right? That's what this province is in 2025, and. I have never had pride of place like I do for Nova Scotia. And I've always been proud to be a Nova Scotian, but I have so much belief in this place right now, in what it's going to be in 5, 10, 15 years. I honestly feel like this is just going to, the future is ours, for Nova Scotia. I feel that. And, there is, since I came back here and started doing this show, I feel personally I've been really embraced by a lot of different people in a lot of different communities. They've really trusted me personally and trusted our show more broadly and are coming to us with, what's happening in their communities, with their thoughts, whatever. So
people are writing into you.
We're kind of I think that I would say that I'm the beneficiary of a lot of lot of generosity on the behalf of a lot of
Like you're
awesome
talking
Nova
about world
Scotians.
issues though, like you had like one on like universal basic income. Like
Yeah.
I mean, that wasn't too long ago.
Yep.
And you've had lots
Yep.
of real global issues on this.
It's a little, well, because
quote
these are,
unquote
yeah,
Nova
and
Scotia
I think,
show.
well, because these are things that I think Nova Scotians are thinking about too. So it's
Right.
like, what are Nova Scotians thinking about? You know, Israel, Gaza. What are they thinking about? You know, what is happening in the United States or in the EU, or you know, like today in Nepal? Like what? These are things that people care about. They think about and have opinions on, right?
Right.
And I think how we think about things and how we can take in information and work through it, digest it, wherever the context is, whatever the context is, it informs how we interact with each other, you know? So there's,
Do you feel Nova Scotians are more globally informed now than they've ever been?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think we all have access to more media. Informed is a really difficult, and the reason I hesitate is I think they have access to more information from all different parts of the world. Whether they're informed or misinformed or disinformed, sometimes I wonder about that, you know. But
I guess, you know what, I probably worded that a little wrong, incorrectly, because what I'm thinking is growing up here, and the great thing is I have a wife who's not from here, so it's helped me with some perspective. My wife's from Quebec, and they are a country. Yeah, sure, they think that too. But they're a province that thinks that like they protest everything. They're on the
They're
streets.
engaged.
They
Yep.
are so engaged. And what I've come to realize through my wife is we aren't.
No.
But I feel
not like Quebec.
but I feel like we're becoming more in the last few years. I feel like whether for reasons while I agree with or don't agree with, I feel like we're aware of this like things that are happening in the world, and I feel like we're voicing our opinion more than we've ever have before.
I don't even know if I agree with that. I don't think we're paying enough attention to the world. I feel like there's too many people that are actually just watching it through their own window and not seeing the bigger picture.
Well, we see the world. There's so many ways to see the world, right? And that is, I agree. I agree with both of you.
Who do you agree with?
In your
Tell us who's right.
Because
Who's right?
I do think if in doubt, me, I'm right. That's what I tell my team on Main Street, and they never believe that, and it's never true. But I would say that I think that we're very isolated, maybe siloed, like we are all fall into our own echo chambers.
Yep.
It's a lot easier to sit around and read shit that we agree with than stuff we disagree with. It takes a lot more mental energy. A lot of us are tired. So we will tend to go like, I'm not going to think through this other person's point of view. Like, fuck that. I'm just going to read this thing that I like.
Right.
But I do also think that, and I don't know if it is a geographical thing or a generational thing. I think that younger millennials, you guys are probably millennials, are you?
We are.
Yeah. I'm Gen X. We were pretty disengaged. Like we were pretty, we just kind of kept shit to ourselves and went on like, we're just going to keep on keeping on, like and I think that a lot of us were pretty nihilistic in that we thought, well, we were like Cold War. Yeah. We grew up around the Cold War and the threat of like this sort of the dawn of the threat, although it seems to be coming back, of nuclear annihilation. Right. And we were like, well, it's going to be what it's going to fucking be. So, what does it matter what I think about it? They're going to do what they're going to do. But I think all y'all, maybe the younger millennials, but definitely Gen Z, like they're not having it.
Yeah.
And I think that is it, that they're like, nope. And I think that younger people feel that the folks who are in, whether it's a legislative position or high corporate positions, whatever it is, that they're not thinking of them, the younger generation, that they're not listening to them. And so they're like, well, you know what? We're going to make it impossible for you not to listen to us.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And so I do think that there's a generational thing. And I think that they, Like they might save us. In the
It's a
end, they might save us. I think that they're activated in a way that is going to be really, really useful. And I think they're aware of things that I was never aware of at that age. And that they're enraged by things that I should have been enraged at by that age, that I was to a certain extent that I was ignorant of. They don't believe, and this is a double-edged sword, and I kind of mourn for them a little bit, because it's hard when you're young to not have things that you can just believe in.
Yeah.
But they seem to be informed and kind of savvy and street smart in a way I wasn't, and skeptical, which is a good thing. Cynical, which I'm not convinced is a good thing necessarily. Suspicious, which is definitely not a good thing.
Yeah.
But I think that they're, where they're skeptical and where they demand answers and demand action, it's whatever. I mean, we live in a democracy. Like, their voice does matter. Yeah. And whether you're 16 and you're not allowed to go and fill in a ballot or not.
Do you think they should be?
Yeah. Yep.
I actually agree.
Yeah.
I think so too.
I think so. I think that for me, when I think of, what magic happens at 18?
Yeah.
that turns you into someone who now can make that decision.
At least for voting, right? I can understand we have things for like cannabis usage and alcohol usage.
And I mean, those are,
that's brain development and all that stuff.
There's a lot there. But as far as voting, I think that maybe if you could vote at 16, maybe at 36, you'd be more engaged.
Right.
Do you know? And if you were voting while you were still in school, and if school systems really, when I was in school, we took civics. I don't know if you guys had civics. We had civics, and it was like, you'd study government, what's responsible government, what's this, what's that. We were kind of educated about it.
Still do that in junior high.
Yeah.
Now.
Oh, do they? Yeah. It didn't mean I wasn't necessarily ambivalent, but I mean, I think they should. Because I think that decisions are being made. Like right now, we've got a government, and I just had Chris D'Entremont, who's a conservative MP from Acadianapolis, on today talking about Bill C-5. And, we're at this weird point as a country right now where it's sink or swim.
Yeah.
Like, things with the United States are not the way they've always been.
Right.
They're not the way for anyone in the world with the United States, the way they've always been. And I think that everyone's like, we can't end up in these codependent relationships. It's not good for any nation. It's not good for any economy. And, the government is doing what the government does, which is make decisions. And, thankfully they're making decisions. Right now, they seem to be bound to improving the economy and creating resilience in the economy, which I think in the short term is super key. And we have to. But I haven't heard anything about the climate.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I haven't heard anything about when they talk about,
No, that's true.
An energy superpower from coast to coast to coast.
We're not hearing it federally, at least. Like, we are hearing it provincially.
But these are decisions that, like, if you're 16 now, we've seen this here in Nova Scotia. Like, look at this summer, right? Drought.
Right.
Widespread drought. Like, climate change isn't waiting for anyone. Yeah. And, I mean, I'll be gone before it really gets bad. But if I was 16, I would want to have a say.
No, that's fair.
100% I would want to have. And I think they should, because and I don't have kids, but if I was watching someone else, I'll tell you this, if I was sitting in the back seat of a car and someone was driving like an idiot, I'd want to be able to at least have a chance of grabbing the wheel. You know what I mean? Like, or getting my foot on the brake.
Right. So given the fact, I have a question for you. Given the fact that you're in the media, and you kind of touched on it. That's why it triggered me to ask this question. Who's your favorite person to read that you disagree with?
Oof, man, that's a hard question.
I know, but I figured I'd throw it out there because you kind of mentioned about echo chambers and how it's easier to read your own stuff, right?
Yeah, that is interesting.
You can plead the fifth at any time.
No, I'm just trying to think who I try to listen to and who I try to hear. And I'm blanking on a name right now. A radio host. Oh my God, I'll come back to him. I subscribe to every political party's communication.
Yeah.
Like, I get all their stuff.
No, do the same.
And I also, I honestly try to engage with people who see on policy and stuff. I don't disagree with anyone, because where I would disagree with people is like right now, what the issue that I have with some people in the media would be tone.
Yeah.
Like how if they're vitriolic, like if they're stoking anger, if they're stoking, rage. And I don't have much time for that. When it comes to points of view, they interest me, right? Like it interests me. And as long as someone can be, the only answer that I ever want, and this is for any level of politician or anyone, right, is why? I don't ask a question to people, which is sometimes, and I kind of recoil when I hear it from some of my other counterparts in the media, where it's like an accusation with a question mark at the end of it. Like, I don't know. I genuinely try to ask a question that I am curious about. And oftentimes it's like, hey man, like you guys got elected or not, but you're standing for office. I mean, anyone that I'm talking to would have been elected, whether they form government or opposition, they're elected. And it's like, you've taken this stance on this particular issue. The only question I want, and I don't want you to get pissed off about it, I don't want you to get pissy about it, is why? Like, what's your thinking?
Yeah.
Why does that work? And why is your way the way we should go? And why not the other way? And if you can answer that, I'm like pretty keen to hear that, because I think that the more ideas we have, the better. As long as they're good ideas and they're legitimate ideas, and not just not just someone being contrarian. So I think that's my long roundabout way of dodging the question.
You did a great job.
Thank you. Yeah.
And, I could have heard that for a few more minutes. So you hit a lot of good points, though, I think. So you do good points for honest
It was
answers.
good bullshit.
Yeah, good BS. Yeah. So
it is what it is. Sometimes you don't have this is my favorite person to listen to.
Yeah,
100%.
Charles Adler. Charles Adler is the person I was thinking of. So Charles Adler is someone who I would say that probably politically he and I would be on, personally, like on opposite sides of many issues. Maybe not opposite side, but we would have differing points of view on many issues.
Right.
As a broadcaster, I had, because I don't think Charles is making media anymore, but immense respect for how he did what he did, and the way he treated guests, and the way he could lay out ideas, the way he could challenge guests, stuff like that. So Adler would be someone. But then there's a lot of folks, like, I mean, I work for CBC. It would be, I think, it's accurate to say that it's like left of center, as a whole. Yeah. I think it's centrist, but left of center.
Yep, that's
which makes us look very left as certain segments of Canada drift right. Mm-hmm. I guess drift right if you're looking at the camera this way. But that being said, being inside the CBC, I also see like how much journalistic standards, and this I would like to touch on for your listeners who maybe are not CBC listeners. And I want to say this, that I am not an employee of the CBC. I'm a contractor. I work for the CBC. Public broadcaster is important. I would say that. We do not work for the government. We are not, we work at very much arm's length from the government. We are funded by taxpayer money. You are our boss, not the government. It is the taxpayers of Canada. And certainly the journalistic arms within the CBC are governed, and the folks at the very top take journalistic standards and procedures, the JSP it's called, very, very seriously. And a case in point is that the remake of that I Am Canadian thing that I released in March, I got in quite a bit of trouble for releasing that.
Why was that?
Because I stated an opinion that we are not the 51st anything. And I stated it as, my name is Jeff. So my bosses at CBC were like, you can't do that. You must be objective on everything. So I can tell you from someone inside the machine
Amazing.
that they take it very, very seriously, almost to a fault at times. But
That's interesting because
trust is very important to them.
That's interesting because like some people like can share their opinion on CBC. There's editorial type of content.
Yeah, they'd be different, right? So they are not someone who falls within. Any reporter, though,
Okay.
should be leaving it up to a guest to state the opinions. I should. Yeah,
Okay.
I got in a lot of trouble
Interesting.
from that, and I kind of co-opted the point. I think on the Charles Adler thing, but I did want to say that.
I think there was ever one to give you a pass on. It was just not to be the 51st state.
Yeah, I think
that
that's
was
a pass.
That was something everybody agreed with, pretty much.
And I honestly
not
think,
everybody.
Yeah,
Most people.
Most.
Yeah, no, yeah. I think 92% of Canadians, I think, was the number at the time.
Yeah.
But the CBC's point was, we speak for all of them.
That's right.
That's fair.
We don't only
That's really
speak for the
fair.
Good on CBC
92%.
for that. I understand.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a tough thing to do sometimes, but they got to do that.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
You have to do that for everyone.
It was something that I was like,
Yeah.
okay, this is, okay, learn, lesson learned.
Right
And
So we're not getting jobs at CBC, buddy. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah, they'll never
not
take
as
us.
journalists.
Not after
right?
this.
Maybe
They will
maybe
never. They'll never
podcasters.
take us anyway. I'm very opinionated.
Yeah.
And I'm also very much like against the 51st state. So
No, just don't say it. Just don't say it.
Cool.
You can be it, but don't say it.
We're going over a bit here. So we do this with every one of our guests.
Okay.
It's called 10 questions.
Okay.
This is a fun rapid fire round. Matt and I are going to
Let's do
spit
it.
questions back and forth.
Okay, let me get settled in.
We're
here.
gonna preface this, and we're gonna pretend like we didn't just talk for an hour.
Okay.
Just because we just throw this up as a YouTube short or whatever.
All right, let's do it.
I'm messing up.
I'm ready.
Lordy, Face ID my face keeps changing. Welcome to 10 questions.
Thank you.
Who is here with us today?
Jeff Douglas.
Okay. Question number 1: poutine or dinner? Oh
Donair.
my gosh, poutine or donair?
Donair.
all right, question number 2. Who is one of your favorite voices in Canadian broadcasting?
Portia Clark.
Okay.
Perfect answer. If Tim Hortons made a Jeff Douglas donut, what style and flavor would it be?
Maple and chocolate chips.
Oh, all right. Question number 4. Name the significance of this line from this classic Canadian Heritage Minute. Dr. Penfield, I can smell burnt toast.
Brain surgery in McGill.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah,
right,
neuroscience
correct.
in McGill. Yeah.
Wilder Penfield, correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's one of your favorite tragically hip songs?
Oh my God, but no. Well, it's so hard. Blow it high dough. Blow it high dough.
Blow it high
Yeah.
dough.
Canadian national anthem is what I call it.
Okay. Question number 6 is ketchup potato chips. Your thoughts?
No. I'm sorry, but no. Donair potato chips?
All dressed, maybe?
Yes, all dressed, yeah.
Okay.
Ketchup? No, I'm
Okay.
sorry, Canada. I've never been proud of that. Yeah.
Which animal would win a fight? A Canadian beaver or an American eagle?
Beaver.
There we go.
Yes.
Yeah.
Question number 8. What's your number 1 way to relax?
Sauna.
Oh, okay.
Very nice.
Yep, we have a sauna. It's like my one favorite luxury at home. We had a sauna put in.
Amazing.
Sauna.
There you go.
And Donair.
Sauna.
The same
Donair
time.
in the sauna.
Sauna, Donair,
Sounds terrible.
and the tragically hip.
Question number 9.
What is one Canadian band or artist you think more people should know about?
Strange Plants out of Halifax.
Strange plants.
Do you know Strange Plants?
No.
Go home, check them out. Strange Plants.
100%.
Yep.
I will. I'll listen to them on the way home.
Yep. Strange Plants.
Question number 10. So this is the last question. It's the one we've asked every single one. This is our last call.
No. The last call is the last call. This is just question 10.
Okay.
Edit this out. So question number 10. So what reason do you think? Whoa. What is reason why? What is the reason?
What
you
is
think?
the reason why?
Well,
Sorry.
the reason you think why Canadians, even through difficult times, are so great at sticking together. So we can rephrase that.
Why don't you do a redo on that question?
I'm going to do a redo on that question.
We'll cut it.
What is the reason you think that Canadians, even through difficult times, are so great at sticking together?
I think that Canada is a series, even the big cities are like small towns, and we're all 2 generations away from being on the farm and on the farm, you got to stick together to get through the winter.
Okay.
Amazing answer. Okay, so what's going on? Where can people hear your
I'm very
band?
super nervous, man. Like this whole 10 questions thing is
That's it. You killed it, man.
very
You did.
nerve-wracking.
Hard part's over.
Jeez.
Hard part's over. So where can people hear your band aside from CBC Main Street?
You can't hear us on CBC Main Street. Again, with the journalistic standards and procedures, I can't even talk about the band on the radio, or the fact that I'm in a band, or that I'm even a person.
Follow Jeff Douglas on Instagram.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
There you go.
Height Requirements, the name of the band. You're going to be playing at the Shore Club on October 25th.
Awesome.
And the iconic Shore Club.
Awesome.
Yep.
Yeah, you're rocking the shirt. It's great.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Almost as if we planned that.
Shore Club.
Almost.
Yeah.
All right.
So last call.
Last
Here we
call.
go. Last call. So this is the question that we've asked every single person on our guests in 2025. So what is one piece of advice that you were given that you would like to share with us and our listeners?
Don't do anything just for the money.
Okay. All right. I like that.
Yeah.
There you go. Well,
Carpe diem.
Yeah. Well, we certainly don't do this for the money.
no, we don't. No, we definitely don't. Well,
Did it for the beer.
cheers to you, Jeff. It
Cheers.
was awesome
Cheers.
chatting with you, my friend. Yep.
Great chatting with you too, fellers.
That's a wrap, man.
See ya.
Thank you for listening to The Afternoon Pint. We are an independent podcast and we need your support. Please take a moment to hit that like, follow, and share button. Email us if you have an idea or suggestion for the show. Please send your feedback. We'd love to hear from you.